Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement. Hello again, viewers. Welcome to the program, Agriculture on the Move. I am Philip Sidney, your host. Today we are discussing the Hiwanura National Honey Show, which is held under the distinguished patronage of the Honorable Alfred Prosper, Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development. With me today is, to my extreme right, is Caris Auguste, who is the apiculture coordinator in the livestock unit in the Ministry of Agriculture. And next to her is Mr. Richard Matthias, who is the manager of the Honey Show and is also the president of the Ionola Apiculture Collective. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Mr. Sidney.
Richard, tell us a bit about the Honey Show. We had one a few years ago, which was our first Honey Show.
Last year.
Very successful. But for persons who are not aware, tell us, what's the objective of the Honey Show?
Sure, great question. The objective of the Honey Show is an opportunity for beekeepers from across the island to select their best tasting and smelling honeys and enter into a national competition to see who's got the best honey in specific categories. So that's the long and short
of it. Okay. Give us a review of the first one, as far as you can recall, and what did we learn from this, moving into this new one?
Sure. I think the first competition that was held last year under the Jeff SGP Knowledge Fair as part of their schedule of events, it was very interesting. We had some really great competitors. The judges that came from the UK were very impressed with the quality of the honey and the presentations that were made. So it was overall very well attended. I think we had about just under 30 participants, 30 entries, 30 beekeepers entering the competition. We've just under, I think, 85 exhibits in total. So it was, persons could enter multiple categories. So I mean, it was quite interesting. We had two really great champions who won last year. Vincent J. Clark out of Viewfort, who won Best in Show, and who won the Minister's Cup. So he would have won the Best in Show prize. Is basically trophy is for the judging, the person who scores the most points in all the honey categories. So light amber, amber, dark amber, honey in comb, comb honey, and the block of wax candles. So the person who accumulated the most points in that category, which is the core honey show category, will win the Minister's Cup. But interestingly, the number 2 prize to win overall is the person who scores the overall most points in competition. So there are other categories such as the honey, the baked goods category, where you can bake a honey cake, product of which includes honey of your choice. Our art and photography section. So we had somebody who entered all those categories and won the most points in show. And that was a young lady by the name of Natalie Alphonse from Derisau. So it was very hotly contested event. Both overall winners were from the south of the island. Jeg being from Vieux Fort, Natalie being from Derisseau. So that was a really good competition from the south. Hopefully this year the beekeepers in the north and the east and the west of the country will show a little better.
Okay.
You know, and they'll be able to enjoy some of the prizes, because this year there's cash prizes as well.
Wow.
So you know, the sponsorship has been really great, and you know, and hopefully that will encourage more persons to participate. This year we've got an additional category, honey cocktail, something for all the bartenders and mixologists out there to give us a nice combination of honey and rum. The taste of St. Lucia, the spirit of St. Lucia, sorry, Bounty rum meets the taste of St. Lucia's honey. So
what a combination.
So let's see what we can produce.
Okay.
I know if you win that prize, I think at this point in time it's $500 plus a perpetual trophy. So next year that trophy will go back into the pool. You get your name engraved on it, and you'll see who comes up with a better cocktail next year. So definitely, you know, we try to really encourage to get more persons on board, especially from the non-traditional beekeeping sector, but to get persons from other areas, bakers, mixologists, artists, photographers, to get them involved as well, because you know, capturing nature and biodiversity is
very good. It's key.
It's key.
Yeah, very good. Okay, I know there is a collaboration, of course, with the ministerial and livestock section involved in that. Caris, give us your take from the ministry standpoint.
Okay, the ministry, as you know, our honorable minister is the patronizer of this event, so we'll be having two bases for registration, one conveniently in the south and one in the north. So in the south you can go and register at the fisheries conference room, because our station for that section is there, and in the north you can go to the National Agricultural Diagnostic Facility. You come in with your $10 for registration, we give you the jars, and you are on your way. A simple, easy process for anybody, whether you are a farmer, an artist, or one of the mixologists. Maybe you can leave a little sample of the drinks there before registration. But yes, conveniently located. We'll be there from 9 to 1 p.m. on a Friday. If we are not available during the Fridays, you can do so during the week at the Jeff office in Sanssouci.
Yes.
Okay. In terms of getting the people sensitized and to know where to come to register, how do they know about? Are they aware of it?
Well, we're using this opportunity, and you can look out for the ads. We send the different flyers to different farmers. So if you're on social media, you will see it. You'll see it on the ministry's Facebook page. You get the information everywhere. You'll also be seeing in the next few weeks the trophy being stationed at the Massey stores or one of the Republic Bank, if I'm right.
Yeah, that's post-competition.
That's post-competition.
Post-competition.
But you will head through the social media.
Okay. I know there are other honey groups, right? Are you all liaising with them to give them that kind of information so that their members will be aware?
Yes, the 8 honey groups have been informed via social media. They have been participating in the training that Matthias gives in preparation for the honey show. Yes.
Okay, great. What about
also schools?
Just about to ask you about the schools, because I cannot leave out the schools. I mean, when it comes to culinary, I mean, the schools play a major role. Yes. So how are they involved?
The Ministry of education has a representative which we liaise with, giving the information, and hopefully soon the Ministry of Agriculture and the Honey Show manager will be going out to the schools just to give a debriefing of what is expected to the food and nutrition classes and to the art classes.
Okay, but Matthias, the various components, apart from the honey, I hear you mentioned the wax. I mean, there are other components that will be on exhibit. Give us a range of those components.
Sure. So the honey show is not just about honey. We also have one of our interesting categories, because there's 13 categories in total that persons can register to enter in. One of the interesting ones is going to be best commercial product. So best commercial product would be a product is either honey or a product that contains value-added products from the honey, like such as propolis, beeswax, even it could be apitoxin, could be royal jelly, but any product that can be derived that originates from the hive and is packaged as a commercial product in line with Bureau of Standards regulations. We have a special category for all commercial products, all commercial bee products, with honey, creams, candles, waxes, lip balms, all in one big nice pot. So the judges will also be looking at commercial products. And one of the things that is very important about the honey show is that we really want to elevate the standard of the honey and the products that are derived from the hive in St. Lucia, to elevate it to the next level. So that persons can really pursue it as a livelihood. Honey production is still somewhat of a hobbyist activity. There's a few commercial beekeepers on island, but we really want to see our honey come to the next level so that we can have the surplus. I know just upstairs to us we've got Export in St. Lucia that's trying to help to elevate the production levels, so that they've got technical team here from the UK right now and Barbados, so they're trying to really see how best we can increase our production so we'll have a surplus that's available for export and they can bring in additional income. So it's very important that we use the honey show as a mechanism to raise the standard of our products, the quality. The beekeepers will spend a little more attention in making sure their honey is filtered properly. There's no bits of residue inside of it. They may now start to take note of the different seasons of the year and separate the honeys from the earlier part of the year from the latter part of the year. So in the beginning of the season we have a nice light flowery honeys, whereas opposed to as the year progresses and the fruiting trees come into blossom, you'll have a more fruity taste. And then at the end of the year we have our rainforests which will go into bloom then, and you have a whole different dimension of flavors there again. So it's very important that once our beekeepers start to home in and focus on those different segments of the honey flavors and they present that in competition, then they may say, okay, maybe if I can package this specific time of year or blossom, say if it's savonette honey, and persons may gravitate to that and they could charge a little more, and because people will say, hey, I like the taste of that, and it tastes special, or some people may prefer the logwood, they prefer the capish. All right, so if you try to start to zoom in on the honey products and you start to define them much better, you maybe find that you can could sell a slightly more advantageous price point because you've done a little more homework in your products, as opposed to just selling a multi-floral blend to a person.
Okay. In fact, I am coming to the point where, okay, the honey farmer is producing honey, but then there's a chain in terms of you mentioned somebody else can take it from there and add value to it.
Yes.
And that is, and we're just coming to our break, and I'm thinking here at the show, would you have other persons there with products to
Yes.
exhibit,
Yes.
so people can see exactly what is happening?
Sure. So we have a number of artisans, persons that produce cosmetics using items from the beehive. So some persons will make a honey and oat soap. So you'll have so persons who make soaps will be available on site. You'll have persons that may be making facial scrubs that include honey inside of it, or may have propolis inside of it. You may have some persons that have propolis tinctures, which is good for a sore throat. Or if you've got a little toothache, you can put a couple of drops on your tooth. So there'll be a whole gambit of other products. I think they'll even have some honey ice cream.
Wow. Okay.
All right, so there'll be a whole gambit of products. Really try to have a nice atmosphere. We'll also have solo band from.
Okay. Well, hold that thought. There's so much to be discussed.
Yes,
We're due for. You're watching Agriculture on the Move. We're due for our break. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon. Don't go away.
Yes.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development is placing heavy emphasis on the concept of food security. It's our prosperity, our future. The Cocoa Sector Enhancement Project, CSEP, is targeting the rehabilitation of at least 201 acres of cocoa and the expansion of at least 294 acres. It protects against main diseases like black pod and witch's broom and pests like rodents. It secures the appropriate enabling environment to advance the sector. To learn more about the Cocoa Sector Enhancement Project, please contact Project Coordinator at 459-7003.
On the Move, we are discussing the Hiwanura National Honey Show, and of course we have my two guests here, and we have been discussing so much, and we're getting into the nitty-gritty at this juncture. But I want to ask Harris, before we get into the venue and what is expected, from the ministry standpoint, working with farmers, do you think the farmers have really taken up the mantle as far as the honey industry is concerned in St. Lucia?
Well, the amount of honey producers are very low. There are a lot of hobbyists, and we want to change that and to introduce a new concept of honey production training from the ministry. We started earlier this year. We have about 17 graduates from that aspect, because the skills for honey production is needed if we are going to increase for export.
Right.
Also, understand when you get a bottle of honey, it may cost between 60 and 70. The imports, we have to import a lot of our tools and our frames and equipment from overseas, and the cost is growing every day. But we are also looking at other avenues that we can produce these things locally at a great demand for as the industry is growing, to help eliminate these exorbitant costs to the farmers.
Okay.
There are now 5 apiculture extension officers that will be able to assist the farmers from north to south. So they are stationed in the south and stationed in the north, and we go around the area. Some people may have been seeing them already, but we're going to get our foot really deep into the industry as of January 2020. So get ready.
Happy to hear that, because it was a one-man show.
Yes, it was, and that wasn't efficient.
That was not efficient at all. So
Yes.
I'm very, very, very happy to hear that.
Yes.
And I'm sure with that, the ministry will be able to really encourage other people to get on board. And do not forget the young people, to get them involved.
Yes.
Because as you can understand, the older persons are going.
Yes.
And we need young blood, to be injected
And we
into the
need
system.
the women.
Of course,
81% of the apiculture industry is men, and we are happy that at least we had one woman winning competition next year, last year,
yeah.
and we hope this year more women, because it's only 5% of these honey producers are actually females.
Great.
So, and we need to change the fact that women are only looked as bottlers of honey or peddlers of honey. We want to show them that we go in the hives too.
It's a business.
Yes.
Very good. Matthias, tell us about this year. I know you all have moved the venue from Castries Central to the north of the island. I need to know why that was done. Okay, so tell us what's going on.
Well, yeah, it's a good point. This year we got a great opportunity to partner with the ARC and IGY Marina and stage and use the grounds of the marina to stage the event with their support and blessing. So we think it will be an interesting soft export opportunity, because you're going to have all these cruise ship, these yachts coming in, these racing yachts coming in, and
so it's in tandem with the ARC?
Yes. So it's actually in part of the ARC's calendar events this year.
Okay.
So it will give not only does St. Lucia's a different exposure, but it will give the honey producers international exposure. And I think that will give them a little oomph.
Yes.
For them to, let's see how we can put our best foot forward. I think there'll be we have opportunities to sell not just to compete in the competition and display the honey for competition, but there'll be opportunities for booths to sell product there as well. So I think everybody needs a little honey for their ham at Christmas. So
correct.
Run down to the Rodney Bay Marina December 10th to buy your honey to put on your ham.
Okay.
Because you can't have the good ham without good honey.
Okay, so there will be an exhibition
Yes.
of other byproducts of honey that will be on sale,
Yes,
apart from exhibition,
you'll have
/sale.
So you'll have the honey show going on and you'll have all the entries into the honey show, and then outside there'll be a number of tents with producers, honey producers, cosmetic producers. A whole range of different products will be available and sell. So if you haven't got your Christmas presents for your loved ones yet, it's an opportunity to buy something locally produced for your loved ones for the Christmas period as well. So there'll be, I think, and there'll be a number of organizations that are sponsors that will have special incentives for the Christmas, and the Republic Bank will have a booth there. They'll have some special products they will be offering to the general public. We'll have Massey stores. We'll have a booth there. They'll have something special for the public for the Christmas period. They may have some promotional item there. Just looking at my list, Bounty Rum, obviously they're the sponsors for our cocktails, so may have something there as well. Vita Bee Health and Man Lake, these are bee supply companies, the international companies that have helped us and sponsored the competition this year. Man Lake have supplied a lot of freebies that will be given away through the competition. Bee suits, caps, lots of little memorabilia. And Vita Bee Health, the CFO, will actually be flying in to give us his support in person. Vita Bee Health is one of the largest bee health supply companies in Europe, and Mr. Owens will be flying in just to lend his support to Caribbean beekeeping. He's an avid sailor. He's done the ARC twice, so it was a good excuse to jump away from the cold and said to the wife, look, let's go and support the guys. We're not going to do the ARC this year, but we're going to come and support our friends who did the ARC, and plus participate and lend our support to the St. Lucia Honey Show. So we're already getting support, not just locally, but internationally and regionally as well.
In terms of your judges, the judges are both foreign and local?
Yes. So one of the things that we really wanted to zoom in on, because we didn't want anybody to think there's any kind of bias. So we have, and honey is a very specific thing to judge. If we have Miss Sue Carter, who is an expert judge from the National UK Honey Show.
She was here last year.
She was here last year, and we thought it was very important for the credibility of the competition that we had an accomplished judge who knows about judging, who's judged competitions all over the world, and to lend her support to our competition. She'll be assisted by Mr. Bill Withers, who's been the head steward for the UK National Honey Show for a number of years. We've got Chef Orlando from Soufriere. He'll be lending his support in regards to
the culinary
aspects and the foods. And we'll also be having one of our colleagues from Barbados, Mr. David Small, who is a trained steward, honey steward, got trained in Florida, and he's going to be coming to participate and assist. So it's really going to have a Caribbean international flavor this year, so that we can really bring the best of the region together to help us and make our show a success.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's going to be loaded this year. But I have been hearing people saying, look, everything is in the north. So what happened to the south? Are you all taking it down to the south in the future?
Yes, I definitely think is in the south, and something that I don't have the time, but I wish maybe that the ministry could look at as a preliminary throughout the course of the year. Maybe the ministry could look at having smaller honey shows in the different parishes, so that when the national honey show comes, the national event, they'll be prepared.
Yes,
so it was as a way to build momentum, and so I think it's something that we could collaborate with the ministry and to have something like a pre-honey show, so we can do something in the south. And maybe one year we can actually have the honey show in the south of the island. Once we get the right location and the sponsors to support us, I think it's not out of the pale to have it in the south.
Definitely. You mentioned you have some side attractions in terms of entertainment. Tell us about this.
Yes, working with the Department of Sustainable Development, they've been doing a lot of work on developing in an Ionola project in developing alternative livelihoods. And one of the things they've done, as well as beekeeping, as well as Latiny brooms, as well as developing a nursery as well to help in certain communities. They've also been spending some time in developing cultural development, and they have solo bands. So I think there's the Morshi solo band will be performing live at that event, and also there's some young men. They've also been playing some interest into doing some Denry segment songs, not of the more provocative nature, but more something more of an inspirational nature. They will also hopefully be participating as well. So we'll have a really St. Lucian, festive, honey blessed.
The date and the venue.
So the venue is IGY Marina, 10th of December. All competitors need to deliver their entries on the 9th of December between 10 and 4 p.m. to the Bay Gardens Marine Haven, which is the hotel just opposite the marina.
Right.
So we will receive all entries between 10 and 4 at the Bay Gardens Marine Haven, and then on the day of the show we'll bring them across to the IGY Marina, and we'll have the judging and prize and so forth.
Final words from you, Clarice? 2 seconds.
We want all groups in the country to participate. We want people to come out in large number and support local. It's always good to support local.
Definitely. Thank you again.
Yes.
Comrade, thank you for being here. I know it will be a success.
I'm
looking forward to it, and thank you, Clarice, for being here, and keep working with the farmers and get more people on board so the next time it'll be bigger and better.
Yes.
Thank you again, viewers, for viewing the program. It has been nice to discuss with you and to bring you information about the Hiwanora National Honey Show. Please do come to view. Come and buy, support local, and of course it's Christmas time. Buy yourself a gift for your loved ones. I'm Philip Sidney saying goodbye and see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.